All right, hey, I'm Scott. I work on product at Exa. For those of you that don't know what Exa is, if the Wi-Fi works, we basically build web search for agents. Also includes all these fancy things like people and company search and searching through GitHub repos and basically anything that's, any bit of information that is on the web. If you've ever used Cursor or Cognition's coding tools or a bunch of other products, HubSpot, Notion, they use us inside of their agents to basically bring in all the context from the web. And so a big part of my job is figuring out how can we grow this to new markets. You know, we're like dominating this like AI coding agent market. How can we expand? And I was thinking, I gave a talk about 2-ish weeks ago about all of these various different GTM systems that we've built out to use our own API to basically enrich all this information about our customers when they're inbounding, and also to build out these huge lists of companies that we might eventually want to conquer. But I wanted to switch it up today. I used to, after I sold my last company, I used to give these lectures at the university that I used to go to about building product. And I kind of wanted to just like try something a little bit like that today around how do you even like build an agent from first principles. But first I'll show off like a few of the things that I have built internally at Exa. So this is one thing that I think is pretty cool. We also have a bunch of forward deployed engineers on our team. And oftentimes this requires cooking up custom integrations and products for our customers. And a lot of this is manual. And we create all these amazing demos of different ways that you can use Exa. But I wanted to build a system such that we could basically use AI in a less linear way and more of an exponential way. And what I mean by that is, obviously this is just a Google image search for what is an exponential growth. Basically, I think how most people are using agents right now in their go-to-market is that they are buying or building all these various different agents, and they're not actually capturing a lot of what the first two speakers actually really honed in on, which made me really excited about how are humans actually in the loop to make the agents better. And so I see all these people on LinkedIn primarily build out these, or describe these agentic solutions that you just one shot and it solves everything for you. And the way that I find working with a system like Claude Code to be best is instead I instruct Claude Code and I say, hey, go write me an email to this account, go research them, use Exa, use whatever. And then every single correction that I give to the agent, I then capture every single correction in as a Claude skill. And this allows me to essentially build upon the previous corrections that I give the agent. Unfortunately, as much as I love what people are describing on LinkedIn right now, of like, hey, you basically can let the agents run themselves, if that were true, I could just tell an agent to go do everything that is my job. But that's not quite the state of AI right now. And therefore, in order to build the best agentic systems, we need to capture the essence of what it is that we are correcting the agent to do. And therefore, the best agentic systems are essentially, or the best Claude skills, as an example, are essentially the accumulation of every correction that we've given an agent. And so the way that I like to think about what even is an agent and its anatomy, and then I'll get into some of the cool stuff I built, is essentially we can call Claude's or Anthropic's agent SDK or any of these agentic LLMs, and we can basically give it a context, internal data about our company, external data about the world, and we give it tools. It's really not that fancy. But in order to do everything that is required for our go-to-market team, which is like these million different tasks, this is just me like hitting Claude and being like, hey, what's everything that we do internally right now? Just like look at our Slack. In order to do all these various different things, we need to actually do them manually ourselves, and then I basically am just correcting the agent, and then storing that away. And now we can build really cool things on top of it. So one of these cool things I built for our team is I want to be able to, we are entering this new market of, hey, you can use Exa Web Search to also find out information about people and companies for your own go-to-market. And so what are these cool things that we can build with Exa? And by building out this toolkit on top of all the skills that I built out, suddenly any single AI go-to-market tool could probably be recreated with this with just a matter of minutes. So for example, many of you have used Clay. This is one Exa API call, and this is how we can basically demo Exa to basically build out an enriched table. We also can do account research briefs. If I put in, for example, Zero of Stripe. Suddenly we have an entire account research product that can be built on this where every single source is cited. We can do outbound email in the same way. And what this allows us to do is now with a single prompt, build an SDR workflow. This took 5 minutes in Claude. This was literally my prompt. We built out an entire tool that we can demo to a customer that's building out AI SDRs. And I can put in, hey, I'm Scott, I work at Exa. It'll autofill the rest of the fields. I can rebuild a target account list. And then for each of these target accounts that's going to use Exa to go enrich, it then gives me the choices of, hey, here's a recent signal about each one. Let's draft an email to them. And so by building out all of the primitives of every single way that our product can be used for this category, we can now take all of this, dump it into a big Claude skill, which is attached here, and I can just say, go build an SDR workflow, and it will build out this entire workflow that we can show off on a call 5 minutes later. We've also built out similar tools for proposals. So if I'm going to go be an SDR and I'm going to go pitch a client, it's built on the same Claude skill that we used for these ones. And now I can say, hey, 11X, who is a customer of ours actually, here's a proposal for how you could use Exa for our product. Here's the demo inside of the proposal itself. Your customers could be using this today. So the way that we think about our own go-to-market at Exa is primarily about how can we use Exa itself as the data engine for doing all these various different tasks and feeding out the context layer of these models. Right now, I would say the intelligence of the models and the AI coding space and Claude Code itself has proven this out. The intelligence of the models is good enough. Maybe even with like Claude Fable 5, like it's going to be insane. And these models will continually get better and better. But the missing component primarily is the way that we configure these agents and the context that we give them. And so the more that we can build on top of every single previous bit of context that we've given it, and we see, hey, that thing worked, hey, that thing didn't work, suddenly we can build out tools like these such that we can cook up custom demos, such that we can cook up custom proposals, and then soon, hopefully, do all the crazy things that we saw in the first two demos as we're growing our go-to-market team right now, to basically respond to inbound support and everything, even building out custom demos on the fly as an inbound lead comes in. So that's primarily what I wanted to leave you with here today. There's a lot of cool demos I could go into, but I'd rather actually spend the time on Q&A and think about, I'm very curious if you throw me like an example agent that you would want to build out, I would love to actually just walk through how I approach it.
Awesome. Perfect. We have time for two.
Great talk. So I think for a lot of folks building agents, they have the advantage of having the context, the data, and all of that. How does this work for when you're at the 0 to 1 stage? You have pretty much 0, right? Maybe you can ask Claude what's going on in the world and this and that, but you don't have all of that bank of knowledge and data to work from. What do you do?
That's a really great question. How do you do the 0 to 1? The way that I would start it, and this gets me very excited, because I think when you are going 0 to 1, every single bit of context that you give a model is like gold, because it's just you and like probably the founders and like maybe a couple other people. And so the source of truth of like what is actually correct and what actually your company does, every single word that you put into that model is essentially something that you will want to capture as your context. And so, yeah, you might not have this treasure trove of like your entire CRM of every deal that you've won and so on and so forth. But now that you're starting from the ground up, if everything that you capture is captured as data, even if you're like in a Claude Code session, what I do is I actually just pull the transcripts of all my Claude Code sessions. Or at the end of a great session, I have built out a skill to basically say, hey, build me a new skill that captures every single correction that I've given the agent in this skill. Use my exact wording verbatim as much as you can, and capture that so that the next time I do this exact same task, apply all of my thought that I put into this task to that one as well. And so I actually think that you could probably build up most of this system in like a week for any given workflow that you're currently doing. Does that answer your question? Sweet. Anyone else?
Yeah, let's do someone who hasn't asked a question yet. Make sure we get some new folks, otherwise we will go these guys. Okay, here you go.
Hi, first of all, love Exa. We have made it default search engine in our product as well. So I really love the output. A question I want to drill down is, how does it work with social media sort of scraping, which is I think one of the really crucial part for go-to-market. We have seen it work really well for fetching companies and people by default, and it has done a good job scraping Reddit and stuff as well, but how does it work overall? What work have you put in to sort of have it go on Twitter, Reddit, all of these stuff to get some signals?
The fun part about the more that we grow, the more that we have to, let's say, comply. And so we don't do a ton for social media right now. There's a shit ton of other tools to do it. Yeah, we use a combination of our own product and various other products for that. Yeah, I heard that this company called Deepline is pretty good at it, so I would check them out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can also cut this from the video, and you can say what you really mean. Perfect. Give it up for Scott. Perfect. Sujay. Awesome. So